Yesterday, Sayadaw explained that the vitamins and nutrients are essential for the body of human beings. So, in order to keep oneself healthy, one needs to take food, clean water, as well as to inhale fresh air. So in the food and fresh water, there are nutrients, and these nutrients are called oja. So these nutrients, these vitamins and minerals can produce new fresh materiality, and they are called Paṇḍitā Rupa, new fresh good materiality. In order to keep oneself healthy, one needs to take suitable food, and one also needs to take supplements if there is deficiency in vitamins in the food one takes. One should consult with a physician and take suitable medicine. So one needs to take food that has full of vitamins and minerals. And also one should take supplements so that one will not be deficient in nutrition. One should take food and supplements timely, regularly. Some of the medicine, some of the supplements are good for the bones. Some of the vitamins and minerals are good for the complexion, for the heart, and so on. And when these vitamins and minerals, these vitamins and minerals, they have their own potency that is conducive for the health. So one needs these vitamins so that one will be free from illnesses. So these vitamins keep the body fit and strong, and also will repel illnesses. Taking these food and vitamins, one will have physical stamina that can repel illnesses. And also one should take medicine in order to repel certain illnesses. By taking nutritious food and vitamins, one's body will be healthy and strong. And also one needs to inhale fresh air continuously to keep oneself healthy. So in this way, people need to take nutritious food, vitamins and minerals, pure clean water, and fresh air. And also one needs to take supplements so that one's body will be well and healthy. So in the same way, one needs to take spiritual vitamins in order to keep one's mind healthy. There are worldly ways of keeping the mind healthy, but it is not sufficient. It is not sufficient to keep the mind healthy in the worldly way, because the worldly way of keeping the mind happy is not sufficient. The worldly way of keeping the mind happy lacks certain vitamins, certain spiritual vitamins. Because in the worldly way, there involves akusala, unwholesomeness, and also kusala, little bit of wholesomeness. Because the worldly way of keeping the mind happy involves unwholesomeness and only contains a little bit of wholesomeness, that's why it is not sufficient to keep worldly ways of making the mind happy. So in order to keep the mind healthy, one needs to practice Vipassana meditation. Practicing Vipassana meditation is the most effective way to consume spiritual vitamins. So in the practice of Vipassana meditation, there are sufficient spiritual vitamins. Accumulating wholesome deeds, they are full of vitamins, spiritual vitamins, that can keep the germs of mental illnesses away. Such kind of spiritual vitamins involve saddha, faith and confidence, and chanda, strong will to develop wholesome mind, and viriya, effort, sati, mindfulness, samadhi, concentration, and panya, wisdom. So these spiritual vitamins can keep away mental illnesses. And also other spiritual vitamins such as moral shame and moral fear are also strong spiritual vitamins. When one feeds the mind with spiritual vitamins, the mind will become healthy, strong, and matured. By practicing Vipassana meditation, one is feeding the mind with Dhammoja, Dhamma nutrition. By feeding the mind with Dhamma nutrition, by practicing Vipassana meditation, the mind will be healthy, pure, clean, and also matured. Feeding Dhammoja to the mind will become from tender to ripe, from subtle to matured, and the mind will be pure, clean, and serene. And thus one will be free from mental illnesses. The mind will become healthy. There will be a healthy mind. Practicing Vipassana meditation is to add spiritual vitamins to the mind. The kind of material food should be taken at certain time, but one needs to add spiritual vitamins continuously apart from sleeping hours. One should be practicing Vipassana meditation continuously in order to add the mind with spiritual vitamins. One should practice continuously apart from sleeping hours. During the hours of sleep, it is impossible to add spiritual vitamins into the mind. If it is possible, one should do it, but of course it is not possible. So when one is awake, one should be mindful all the time. One should be mindful of every arising object, such as rising and falling of the abdomen, bending, stretching, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, knowing, lifting, moving, placing. One should be mindful even when one opens and closes the eyes, and also when blinking of the eyes. Whatever the object arises, one should be mindful all the time. One should keep protection. One should keep the protection of mindfulness all the time. In order to do it, one should note with aim and effort. One should have sustained mindfulness. The mind should be calm and collected, and one should unify the mind so that one can take the suitable Dhamma nutrition so that the mind will become strengthened. In the word Dhammoja, the word Oja means Bala, power. It means the power to prevent and also prevent the unwholesome states, and also to destruct the unwholesome states. So there can be two kinds of power, Phala. The first one is the power of preventing and the power of destruction. So in Dhammoja, it has the power of preventing unwholesomeness, and even if these unwholesomeness and defilements arise, Dhammoja has the power to destruct and dispel these opposite mental states. When this having Dhammoja having the power to prevent and destruct the opposite mental states, it becomes Teja. It becomes very effective in preventing and also dispelling the opposite mental states. So by consuming spiritual nutrition and spiritual vitamins regularly, the mind will be strong, healthy, and matured. Saraji gives an example. If a person takes healthy, nutritious food, one's body will be healthy and strong. By taking unsuitable food, the body will wither and one will be unhealthy. In the same way, taking spiritual vitamins, the mind will be healthy and strong. If one takes unsuitable unsuitable food, then the mind will be unhealthy. If one takes high potency Dhammoja, if one takes high potency Dhamma nutrition, then the mind will become amazingly strong, amazingly healthy. One should cultivate faith and confidence, and then one should have faith and confidence in the practice. By taking unsuitable nutrition into the mind, one will not have faith and confidence in the practice. Failing to take suitable nutritious vitamins into the mind, one will not have faith and confidence that this Dhamma can uplift the person so that the person will not be degraded. And also, lacking spiritual vitamins, the person will not believe in the Buddha who taught the way to uplift the beings. And also, the person will not believe in the people who attain noblehood by practicing Satipatthana meditation and become totally purified from kilesa defilement. The person will not have faith and confidence on the method of practice, and thus the person will not have any ability at all. One should learn the correct method of practice. One should also learn the benefits of practice by listening, by discussing, and also by reading trustworthy books. In this way, by listening, by discussing, and by reading trustworthy books, one can build up faith and confidence, and one will know the benefits of practice to his or her knowledge. Understanding the benefits of practice, one will have faith and confidence in the practice, and also one gives up the kind of worldly pleasure that has no guarantee. Giving up worldly pleasure, one comes to the retreat. By joining the retreat, by practicing Vipassana meditation, one cultivates Viriya, Sati and Samadhi, effort, mindfulness and concentration, and one's mind will be purified. When the mind is pure, by developing Viriya, Sati, Samadhi, effort, mindfulness and concentration, one will develop knowledge, discerning mind and matter, cause and effect, and also characteristics of impermanent suffering and non-self. By developing knowledge, one will come to accept and confirm that this method is right, this Dhamma is right. No one has to persuade this person to believe in Dhamma, but it is his or her practice, his or her personal practice, making the person believe, accept and confirm that this Dhamma is right. In this way, the person's knowledge will become more and more matured. The more one's knowledge becomes matured, the more he, she will accept, and the stronger his or her faith will become. So in this way, both the mind and the knowledge will be developed. By taking suitable spiritual nutrition, by taking spiritual medicine that has high potency, high power, one's mind will become brilliant, bright by developing Viriya, Sati, Samadhi. And also, the person's Viriya, Sati, Samadhi, effort, mindfulness and concentration will become more and more effective. Knowledge will develop stage by stage. The knowledge will become more and more bright, and thus the person develops more power of Viriya, Sati, Samadhi and Panya. His or her mind will be pure, clean and wholesome. And at this stage, the person does not want unwholesomeness to arise. The person does not want hindrances to arise. And also the person develops moral shame and moral fear from missing or failing to note the object. The person develops shame and fear from missing, failing to note, and the person becomes shameful, fearful that the defilements will arise by lack of mindfulness. So the yogi becomes more diligent, not accepting these defilements from arising. Yogi has shame and fear from lack of mindfulness. These two powers of moral shame and moral fear play very important role in the practice, so that the person will practice even more diligently, so that he, she will not miss or fail to note. The more one exerts effort, the more powerful his or her mental strength will become. Moral shame and moral fear, having moral shame and moral fear, one practices diligently, and thus yogi gains progress in the practice within no time. Yogi progresses his or her practice, and thus his or her mental strength will become stronger and also more and more powerful. When his or her mental strength becomes more and more powerful, the person will be free from mental illnesses, and thus the person gains mental happiness. And a person who takes suitable food, supplement and medicine, when the food, nutrition and the medicine enter the body, then such food and nutrition keep the body healthy. And also there are other benefits such as building up physical stamina, preventing illnesses from arising. The person will have good blood circulation. The person will live long, free from illnesses. The person can work in order to earn for himself, herself, for family, and also the person has the strength to work for others benefit. In the same way, when a person can consume spiritual vitamins, spiritual minerals and nutrition, the person's mind will become outstandingly pure, clean and wholesome. There will be a good circulation of pure, clean, wholesome mind, and also good mental states such as saddha, faith and confidence, viriya, sati, samadhi and panya, effort, mindfulness, concentration, wisdom will circulate in one's mind. So the mind will be free from transgression, misconduct by body, speech and mind. Being free from misconduct by body, speech and mind, the mind is pure, clean, happy and serene, and there will be joy, happiness and comfort in the mind. Due to the momentum of happiness, joy and comfort in the mind, this will also produce good blood circulation in the body as well. When the mind is pure, clean, this pure, clean mind can produce fresh, new materiality in the body, so that a person with wholesome, pure mind will have the materiality light, active and alert. So due to mental happiness obtained from practice, obtained from Satipatthana practice, the body also becomes healthy, fresh and alert. Having spiritual nutrition, having spiritual vitamins, the mind is healthy and wholesome, and also this wholesome, healthy mind produces new, fresh materiality in the body, and thus there will be comfort in the body as well. So the kind of happiness, the kind of comfort in both the body and the mind gained through Satipatthana practice excels many times than the happiness and well-being gained through worldly ways. When seeking treatment from a physician, the patient should take medicine according to the physician's prescription. The patient should take the medicine timely and also at correct amount. The patient should take it in such a way that the prescribed medicine will be effective for his or her illness. But if the patient just takes one dosage and will not take again, then the effect of the first dosage will die out and his or her illness will not be cured. If the patient does not take medicine to the correct dosage or the correct course of medicine, then however the medicine is effective, but the patient will not be cured. So the patient will become resistant to the medicine, and also the patient becomes chronic. In the same way, When practicing Satipatthana meditation, yogi should practice according to the guidance given. Yogi should practice continuously. If the yogi fails to practice according to the guidance given, and if yogi does not practice in timely manner on the object that arises, yogi should note the object with aim and effort. If aim and effort is not sufficient, then yogi, sati, samadhi and panya, mindfulness, concentration and knowledge will not be sufficient. If the yogi lacks moral shame and moral fear from lack of mindfulness, if the yogi lacks moral shame and moral fear from arising of the kilesa defilements by lack of mindfulness, then yogi cannot overcome the opposite mental states, and thus there will not be pratipakha vikamana. Yogi cannot overcome the opposite mental states. And also the person cannot overcome the mental illness. Such kind of yogi will be taking a long time to practice. Even though such kind of yogi practices a long time, there cannot be progress, and thus yogi will become a chronic yogi. So Jaraji says, to prevent oneself from becoming a chronic yogi, one needs to practice with diligent effort. One should practice effectively so that one's noting will be effective. In order to note rising and falling of the abdomen, in order to know the true nature, one should aim the noting mind towards the object, and one should put effort so that the noting mind will reach the object. When the noting mind reaches the object, then the person will know stiffness, tension, movement when noting rising of the abdomen. One will experience relaxation, movement when noting falling of the abdomen. Yogi should be exerting effort continuously so that the nivarana hindrances such as kama chanda, sensual desire, cannot enter the mind. When these nivaranas cannot arise, the mind will be pure and clean, and one will come to know distinctly, clearly on the true nature. One's knowledge will become powerful and effective, discerning mind and matter. One will come to know distinctly that the nature of stiffness, tension, movement is one thing, and the noting mind knowing stiffness, tension, movement is another. And also, the person discerns the sensitivity, materiality, knowing that it is where attracts the noting mind onto the touching, such as stiffness, such as hot, warmth, heat and cold. So in this way, yogi discerns sensitivity, knowing that from that the mind is pulled onto the touching of warmth, heat, cold and so on. At times, yogi comes to know the sensitivity, such as it is where the warmth, heat, cold strikes on. In this way, the yogi comes to experience the sensitivity, materiality. And at times, yogi experiences the striker element, such as it is the striker that strikes the body sensitivity. And yogi experiences hardness, softness, striking the body sensitivity. And in this way, yogi also comes to know the striker element. And at times, yogi comes to know the ignition element, knowing hardness, stiffness, warmth, heat, cold, and so on. Knowing of the hardness, stiffness, it is mentality, which is ignition element. And at times, yogi knows the ignition element as good feeling or bad feeling by touching warmth, heat, cold, and so on. And at times, yogi comes to know the contact of the object and the knowing mind. And this contact is also mentality, which is ignition element. So when the yogi discerns this mind and matter, mentality and materiality, yogi dispels the wrong view of atta, self. Even though the mentality and materiality, such as ignition element, striker element, and receptor element are present, people who are not mindful, they take of them as being or creator or self or soul. It is called ditthi, wrong view. By discerning mind and matter distinctly, one overcomes the wrong view of jiva atta, individual soul. Before one discerns mind and matter, the mental illness of wrong view has become chronic, but as one discerns mind and matter distinctly, the illness of wrong view of these atta will be overcome. One's mental illness of wrong view of atta will be overcome by discerning mind and matter. When the yogi practices continuously, nivarana germs, hindrances germs, cannot enter the mind, and thus the mind will be pure, clean, wholesome, and also the person's knowledge will become powerful. When the person's knowledge becomes powerful, one will overcome the wrong view of self or atta. So it is said that when one discerns mind and matter distinctly, one overcomes the wrong view of jiva atta, individual soul, and thus there will be purification of you. People who do not practice meditation, or those who practice in easy-going manner, to such people there will be a bad illness of wrong view of jiva atta. So people who do not practice or who practice haphazardly cannot uproot the wrong view of jiva atta. When a person discerns mind and matter distinctly, then one can overcome the wrong view of jiva atta. When one attains Sotapaddi Magga, path of stream entry knowledge, path knowledge of stream entry, then one totally uproots the wrong view of jiva atta. So in order to overcome jiva atta, one needs to be mindful to discern mind and matter. By discerning mind and matter, one can overcome the wrong view of jiva atta, and when one attains Sotapaddi Magga Jnana, one totally eradicates the wrong view of jiva atta. Practicing Satipatthana meditation, one is preventing the germ from entering the mind. In order to prevent nivarana germs, in order to prevent hindrances germs, one should practice with aim and effort noting the presently arising object so that nirvana germs cannot enter the mind. By knowing mind and matter distinctly, wrong view of jiva atta will be overcome. And also by being mindful, nirvana germs cannot enter the mind. So one should cultivate good germs by practicing Satipatthana meditation. And Saraji will explain tomorrow. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.